Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Before we get started, could you fix that picture there behind you? Yeah, it's slanted. Hare Krishna. Hope you all enjoyed the polar bear japa walk. Yes. It was very nice, right? Get you all perked up, get some blood running. Okay, I'd recommend it to do it whenever you can, even if it's 40 below. You have to work yourself up to that. Some of you need a little more zip, just to be a little more quick. Get yourselves ready. We said 10 to. Some of you weren't there, so a little more zip in your life. Okay, we're going to go through the invocations. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. O my Lord, the all-pervading personality of Godhead, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Narayanam namaskaritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswati vyasam tato jayam udiyayat. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances on the personality of Godhead Narayan, under Narayan Rishi, supremest human being, unto your mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Saprayeshwa Bhadreshu, Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya, Bhagavad-Yutta Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki, by regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam, rendering of service to the pure devotee. All that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the personality of God, who is praised with transcendental songs, it establishes an irrevocable fact. Om Jnana-Timirandasya Jnanandjana Shalakaya Chakshurumritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkest of ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes towards light of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. Srila Prabhupada ki. Today we're looking at picking up a pen. Okay. And what are we doing here? The demigods and demons declare a truce. And it's Canto 8, Chapter 6. And it's text, what are we doing? We're reading a whole slew.
Yeah, 15, 26, and then focusing on
15, 26. Okay, here we go. On your mark, get set, go. My Lord. What? Sorry. I'm just on yesterday's. I'll just look at this. I can't look at that. I, Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and all the demigods accompanied by Prajapatis like Daksha are nothing but sparks illuminated by you, who are the original fire. Since we are particles of you, what can we understand about our welfare? O Supreme Lord, please give us the means of deliverance that is suitable for the Brahmas and the demigods. Shukadeva Goswami continued, when the Lord was thus offered prayers by the demigods, headed by Lord Brahma, he understood the purpose for which they had approached him. Therefore, in deep voice, resembling the rumble, the Lord replied to the demigods, who all stood there attentively with folded hands. Although the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Master of the demigods, was capable of performing the activities of the demigods by himself, he wanted to enjoy pastimes in churning the ocean. Therefore, he spoke as follows. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, O Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and other demigods, please hear me with great attention, for what I say will bring good fortune for all of you. As long as you are not flourishing, you should make a truce with the demons and asuras, who are now being favored by time. O demigods, fulfilling one's own interests is so important that one may even have to make a truce with one's enemies. For the sake of one's self-interest, one is to act according to the logic of the snake and the mouse. Immediately endeavor to produce nectar, which a person who is about to die may drink to become immortal. Cast into the ocean of milk all kinds of vegetables, grass, creepers, and drugs. Then with my help, making Mandara mountain the churning rod and Vasuki the rope for churning. Churn the ocean of milk with undiverted attention. Thus the demons will be engaged in labor, but you, the demigod, gain the actual result, the nectar produced from the ocean. My dear demigods, with patience and peace, everything can be done, but if one is agitated by anger, the goal is not achieved. Therefore, whatever the demons ask, agree to their proposal. A poison known as Kalakuta will be generated from the ocean of milk, but you should not fear it. And when various products are churned from the ocean, you should not be greedy by them, nor should you be angry. O King Parikshit, after advising the demigods in this way, the independent Supreme Personality of God, the best of all living entities, disappeared from their presence. Jai, Hare Krishna. We're looking at 15 then, huh? Everyone's ready? Ahangiritrascha suradeyo ye. Dakshadeyo nere ivaketavaste. King Vavidam Mesha Pritag Vibhata. Vidatsva Shangno Dvijadeva Mantram.
Aham Girtarascha Suradayo ye.
Girtarascha Suradayo ye. Dakshadeyogne ivaketavaste. King Vavdidamesha Pritag Vibhata. Vidatsa Shamno Dvijadeva Mantram. No, start. Ahangiritas. Ahangiritas Suradayo ye. Dakshadayogne ivaketavaste. Kimva vidamesh vitvibhata. Kimva Pritag Vibhata. Vidatsva Shamno Dvijadeva Mantram. Just start like this. Ahangritas. Wait. Who did that? Okay. Don't correct him. Okay. Don't everyone do that. I'm conducting the class. Okay. Good. We're very good. You're doing good. Do you want to try again? Suradayo ye. Very good. Ahangiritascha suradayo ye. Dakshadayogne ivaketavaste.
Kingvadidamesha pritag vibhata.
Kingvadidamesha pritag vibhata. Vidhats Shangno Dvijadeva Mantram. Ahangiritrascha Suradayo ye. Dakshadyognir iva ketavaste. Ingva Vata. Vijadeva mantram. No, start aham. Aham giritras. Aham giritrascha suradiyoye. Dakshadyognir iva ketavaste. Ingva vidamsmesha pritag vibhata. Anybody left? Vedas no Vijadeva mantram.
Aham giritrascha suradayoye.
Aham giritrascha suradayoye. Chadyognir vaketavaste. Kingva vidamesha pritag vibhata. Vidamsha Vijadeva mantra. Thank you. That was very beautiful. Great. Please don't try to correct somebody if it's not your place, because then you've got like 5 different people. It's very intimidating for the person who's learning. So don't be so arrogant. Okay? Good. Aham. I, Lord Brahma. Giritara. Lord Shiva. Cha. Also. Sura Adayaha. All the demigods. Yea. As we are. Daksha Adayaha. Headed by Maharaj Daksha. Agnahe. Of fire. Iva. Like. Ketavaha. Sparks. Te. Of you. Kim. What? Va. Either. Vidama. Can we understand? Isha. O my Lord. Prithak vibhata. Independently of you. Vidhatsva. Kindly bestow upon us. Sham. Good fortune. Naha. Our. Dvijadeva mantram. The means of deliverance. Suitable for the Brahmins and demigods. Translation. Okay, no problem. I, Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and all the demigods, accompanied by the Prajapatis, like Daksha. Let's do it again because we already read it, right? I, Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and all the demigods, accompanied by the Prajapatis like Daksha, are nothing but sparks illuminated by you, who are the original fire. Since we are particles of you, what can we understand about our welfare? O Supreme Lord, please give us the means of deliverance that is suitable for the Brahmins and demigods. So I thank you very much. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Okay, great. Okay, in this verse, the word Dvija Deva Mantram is very important. The word mantra means that which delivers one from the material world. Only the Dvijas, the Brahmanas, and the Devas, the demigods, can be delivered from material existence by the instructions of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Whatever is spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead is a, give me an M, A, N, T, mantra. Thank you. Okay, whatever is spoken by the Lord is a mantra and is suitable for delivering the conditioned souls from mental speculation. The conditioned souls are in a struggle for existence, mana, Shastan Indriyani Prakriti Stani Karshati. To deliver us from this struggle constitutes the highest benefit. Yeah. But unless one gets a mantra from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, deliverance is impossible. The beginning mantra is the Gayatri mantra. Therefore, after purification, when one is qualified to become a Brahmana, Dvija, he is offered the Gayatri mantra. Simply by chanting the Gayatri mantra, one can be delivered. In Kali Yuga, we are all in a very cult. We're part of a cult, right? Chaitanya cult position, in which we need a suitable mantra that can deliver us from the dangers of this age. There, the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his incarnation as Lord Chaitanya gives us the Hare Krishna mantra, Hare Krishna, not Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Actually, you're wrong. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama eva kevalam, kalo naste vanaste vanaste tatiranyata. In this age of quarrel and hypocrisy, the only means of deliverance is chanting the holy name of the Lord. There is no other. There is no other. There is no other. How about way? There is no other way. In the Shikshastakam, Lord Chaitanya says, Parang Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. All glories to the chanting of Sri Krishna Chaitanya or Sri Krishna Sankirtan, the Mahamantra. Now, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, is directly chanted by the Lord himself, who gives us this mantra for deliverance. We cannot invent any means to be delivered from the dangers of material existence. Here, even the demigods, such as Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, and the Prajapatis, such as Daksha, yeah, you got the right look, are said to be like illuminating sparks in the presence of the Supreme Lord, who is compared to a great fire. Very good. Sparks are beautiful as long as they're in the fire. Similarly, we have to remain in the association of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and always engage in devotional service. For then we shall always be brilliant and illuminating. As soon as we fall from the service of the Lord, our brilliance and illumination will immediately be extinguished, or at least stopped for some time. When we, living entities who are like sparks of the original fire, the Supreme Lord, fall into a material condition, we must take the mantra from the Supreme Personality of Godhead as it is offered by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. By chanting this Hare Krishna mantra, we shall be delivered from all the difficulties of this world. What's this nature thing? All right. Thank you very much, Bruce. Give yourselves a hand. Okay, so there is a unanimous feeling here amongst the devatas, the demigods. They're all on board. And like they have been speaking, like as far as we can say, understand, in unison. And also what is included with the demigods, as we understand from the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 3, there are the demigods, there are the Prajapatis, and along with their creation, their evolution, comes, anybody know? Along with the ancestors and along with the demigods, what was created in the beginning? Anybody know? Okay, give me a why. Why? A.
Yakshas?
No. How about yajna? Yeah, sacrifice, yeah. Sacrifice is there. It's one of the first things that came. Just like when we read about when the world was created, there was a sound vibration, ta-pa, 2 syllables, which meant it was a message for Brahma, do austerity. Because he was wondering, like in modern day terms, he came out, hey man, what's going on around here? And so the Supreme Lord answered with ta-pa, perform austerities, and then everything will come to you. Isn't that interesting? That from discipline, answers come. From discipline, there's a clarity. There's a clearing of the cobwebs on the mind, And don't let anybody fool you and tell you otherwise, that discipline is it's actually a good thing. They should be telling you it's all good, because then things get. That was the idea behind the Polar Bear Express this morning. Perform a little tapasya and you get sort of aroused, you get kind of excited, okay, and the blood starts running, and then when you come to Radha Kirtan or Gopinath's lotus feet, it seems to be like a nice ending to the polar bear walk that we did this morning. Okay, so the demigods have good information to deliver. They are considered to be like sparks in the fire, but I loved the analogy that's given here. The sparks are good, they should stay in the fire. I've actually seen sparks come out of a fire and land on somebody's, like pants or something like that. Ah! And the little hole develops there, And so as long as we're staying in the fire, we're good. As long as we stay in the fire of devotional service, we are good. As long as we're kept busy. Some people, a lot of people ask me this kind of question. The nature of the question is, how do I keep from, getting depressed? And I just ask them the question, do you keep busy? And usually the answer is, well, yeah, some of the time. So I believe that, you have to be like a busy bee in a beehive. Just keep going, be a worker bee. And the queen bee, of course, is Krishna. So just keep very active, And then you won't get emotional, you won't get thinking or overthinking like that. That's the idea. So don't think too much. I would say do more. There was a song by Here I Go Again, always with the pop culture. Jefferson Airplane, Jefferson Starship, Dharma Pranapru. I thunk. I sat down and I was thinking, and I thunk, and I thunk. I couldn't do anything better. Those are the lyrics. I don't think thunk is even a word, but the idea is that, in that particular culture, you can make up your own language, You have to be uneducated to get popular in the world, No one says, I do not. They always say, I ain't. And there's no such word, ain't in the English dictionary. So I ain't supposed to be saying it. All right. Some of us, we catch you sometimes using an article and sometimes not using it in the wrong place. And many of you are saying, I gonna, what's gonna? What's I gonna? I go to Guyana. I don't know, is this a new place? Gonna? I am going to. I'll be honest with you, if we want to be respected by the public, we have to speak a good English, right? Because that's the dominant language here. One day it might be Mandarin, but right now it is English for now, okay? As long as I live, I'd like to keep to English. I don't want to learn Mandarin or Cantonese or something like that. Okay, so this is the idea, is that words are important, how we say it, how we deliver it, and as is expressed here, by the demigods and about the demigods, there's a need to always keep in the fire of bhakti. Fire is very important. Before, in the Middle East, most people, before Islam got big, most people worshiped Agni, the fire god. There's Zoroastrians. And they worship God as fire, you know. And some of those people that came from that background also kept to doing yajnas, you know, and so on. I believe some of them are Arya Samaj people, right? It's a big thing for them. But it is a Vedic concept, fire ceremony, and Prabhupada did bring the yajnas to the Hare Krishna movement. He didn't just say, chant Hare Krishna, Krishna, and I'll initiate you. He actually introduced the yajnas, you know, and that's how he married people too, with the honoring of the fire god. And his wife's named Swaha, and you know how we always, you know, offer the grains, you know, and the seeds to the fire. So we're recognizing that they are having union of some kind, you know. So that's yajnas are important, but as Prabhupada usually does in all of his purports, when he talks about yajnas or sacrifices, he always brings it around to the final point. But the most important thing, more important than Gayatri Mantra, for instance, which is not really available for everybody, is to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, which has been very much popularized by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So sometimes people you hear, they'll chant the Mahamantra, they just go, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Have you heard that before? They chant Hare Rama and then Hare Krishna in that order. But we follow our acharyas, and so Chaitanya Mahaprabhu chants Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare. We follow the acharyas, we follow our disciplic succession, and that's so important. Srila Prabhupada, upon, you know, taking this Bhagavatam and, you know, doing the translational work, he would have several books with him on his desk. And he would be, you know, going for the word-by-word translations. And then when it came to the translation of the verse completely, and also purports, before he'd put down his purports down, he would make reference to the books by the acharyas, Valadeva Jabhushan, and so on, all the acharyas in our disciplic succession that gave commentary to the Bhagavad Purana or Srimad Bhagavatam. So he made reference to what others were saying in the past, and then he felt that it was right as a package deal to put his little input in there, because he's the guru for the age, right? Srila Prabhupada. And so that's how he managed it. That's how he got the purports out. In fact, that is our culture. You don't really do anything on yourself. You always make reference to what other people have said and done in our disciplic succession. Evam parampara praptam, from chapter 4 of the Bhagavad Gita. We just started chapter 4 this morning, right, in our Bhagavad Gita reading at 5 o'clock in the morning. And there it's explained what this parampara is all about, and how it involved great kings of the past, like pious kings, pious politicians. Is it possible to have that? Pious politicians. Well, we know that in our democratic system, there's a little political pollution. You know, you could try to cater to what the public wants. But what if the public wants? Okay, the public gets convinced. Oh, we should have child sacrifice. You know. We should have child sacrifice, you know, and everyone agrees to that. Or, you know, I think it's very healthy to have pornography, and everyone should be exposed to it, even kids. You know, when it gets to that level, because it could come to that level, democracy, it could, you know. Well, that's what the people want, that's what you have to give. When they were deciding whether to have Christ to be crucified or not, Pontius Pilate, who was in charge, he was under incredible pressure. And that pressure was that the Romans were saying, crucify him, crucify him. And then also not only the Romans, but also the Brahmins of the time, the rabbis. Is everything okay? What's happening? Okay, how many more people do you want to go? Okay, great. So the rabbis were the Brahmins of the past, and they were like smarta Brahmins. I'm just putting it into sort of a context about the middle, let's say, central world, which has influenced everybody. And so they decided Christ will be crucified because the pressure was on. Pontius Pilate himself was actually kind of okay with Jesus, that's my understanding. And his wife was there, as far as I know, and she felt really like her husband's under incredible pressure and he has to make a decision. And if he didn't decide to have Christ crucified, you could only imagine what would be happening. There would be a major, what would you call it, riot, major riot. So to try to keep the peace, this is how destiny fell. Okay, so sparks. Try to think of today that you're a spark, and you are sparks. You are full of fire. You're all happy about bhakti. You're happy about devotional service, isn't it? It's the greatest thing that ever happened to you. Am I right about that? Or am I making some assumption? Is bhakti the best thing that ever happened to you? At least it is for me, okay? Put up your other hand if it really is the best thing, right? Now I put up your right leg and the left leg. Okay, great. We're unanimous. Okay, so we are unanimous, as the demigods are unanimous in glorifying the Supreme Lord Vishnu, Krishna, whoever may be there at the time. We make no distinctions between Vishnu and Krishna. They are similar. But if you study more deeply the nectar of devotion, you'll understand how they differ, how they are different. They are one, but they're also different. Does that sound like a really cool philosophy? And does anybody know what the name of that philosophy is? Achintya Veda Veda Tattva. Tattva means truth, or like philosophy. And so inconceivably, simultaneously, one, but different at the same time. Okay, that's our philosophy. And this is being handed down through the chain of disciplic succession. It has actually been amplified more so by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu because his predecessors presented a philosophy about how there is God and there's the living entities and so on, which is the right, conclusion, siddhanta about life. There is God and there is us. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu brought it a little bit more clear and presented it, well, we're all little gods, we're little sparks, but we're in the fire, and the fire is Krishna. Not that we make up the fire. I had a friend, he was an artist friend, he said that's what he believed in. He believed that, we're all like little parts of the one big whole, and since that is the case, we are all God, we're all one. And in my mind, I said, I don't think so. Because I started reading the Bhagavad Gita and I can understand the line that was drawn by Srila Prabhupada and the Acharyas between the living entities and all of us, okay? There are some, exceptions to the rule, you can say, like Shiva is in his own unique category. Again, we refer to Shastra, we refer to our tradition. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was in South India. He stumbled upon this, Brahma Samhita, and in the Brahma Samhita, it makes it kind of clear. Shiva, for instance, he's yogurt, Krishna's milk. They are one, but they are different, okay? From the milk, you can make yogurt. Has anybody ever made yogurt before? Proudly. Okay, all right. And under the right conditions, that milk will turn into yogurt. And usually you keep it in clay pots, and that's where it keeps cool. And when it's really hot outside, especially in India, that's what you want. You don't want milk, right? You want dahi. You want yogurt, because it cools your system. It cools your system. Like some people, they love lassi, and they love it in the, it's supposed to be taken more in the summertime. Summertime. I guess another song by Gershwin in the city. Okay, so these are some things to consider. Let's see, The original fire is God, and we are particles of that fire. So it's not that the spark or the little piece of the fire should think I am the fire, you know. Even though you can certainly expand, you know. If a spark lands, and this is what happens with some of the wildfires, especially in the West Coast, you know, there is this, let's say you have a bottle of pop, you know, like 7-Up, you drink it and you throw it. You throw it in the wild. Now what happens is that the sun comes, and then those rays of the sun pick up, it's like the glass of the pop is like a magnifying glass, and it starts to, like that kindling stuff at the bottom, they could be let's say the pine leaves that fell down, they're now dry, and now it starts to smoke, you know, and that's how sometimes it happens. That's human, let's say it's a human cause, right? And natural causes could be there as well. So this is what happens sometimes with one little spark, could create a whole big different empire, you know, like the likes of Hitler and Stalin and Ivan the Terrible. Were there some other people? You know, how about Ravana? How about Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha? You know, they were all like, they started their own idea, and even Hiranyakashipu thought, I will change policies. That if you're doing good works, you'll get bad results. If you do bad deeds, then you'll get good results. He was trying to switch karma, but he didn't get it. He was smart, but you have to be smart to kind of take over, but also dull at the same time. Duryodhana was actually a brilliant person, and Krishna explained that when he went for his plea for peace. He said, you are a good statesman. He opened up his conversation like that, which is what you do when you meet people. You flatter them a little bit. But there is a problem here. Duryodhana was envious towards the Lord, envious towards his cousins, and so it just wasn't a good fix. And because of that, because of tyranny as opposed to actual democracy, or as opposed to the Vedic rule, which is, let's be ruled by pious monarchy, by good guys. You know, good guys. People are trained in the art of benevolence. Maybe I mentioned this to you. The last time I went to Hawaii, I saw a good old friend. He's originally from Toronto. We moved to Maui, which is an island over there. And just by chance, I called him up and I said, well, I'm in Maui and I'm such and such a place. Really? And the whole big island is just around the corner. So we came and we talked a little bit. He's from the Jewish community, and he said a couple of things, you know, because, you know, anybody's Jewish feels sensitive about Israel, what's been going on. And he's saying we could use a little bit more of the hippie movement right now, which is love everybody. You know, and then he said another thing, what we need, the rule that is required is a benevolent dictator. Does that make sense to you, Bruce? Like somebody who dictates, you know? In some sense, what's this, Modi is a little bit like going a little bit in that direction. He's a gutsy guy. He's a real gutsy guy, and he stands for values and principles, like Vedic principles, and he loves ISKCON. He loves what we're doing. I hope he stays there for a long time, and they vote him in. So sorry to make a political opinion, but now you know where I stand. And I'm not a supporter of you know who, you know. You know, I'm not a supporter. Some of his policies, yes, but the way he carries on, the way he treats Canada and all these things, you know, leaves much to be desired, you know. So modern day politics is very interesting. It's really turned an interesting corner where it's okay to be rude. It's okay to be nasty. It's okay to your own people. Not just the outside, but your own people. What to speak of your next door neighbors. He might not be nice to Canada, but he's also not nice to people who may come and offer try to talk to him, and he'll just shut them right up, you know. Anyways, Hare Krishna, let's not go there. I am not injecting new ideas anyways. It's just kind of the way things are right now. Let's go to where our minds are supposed to be, and then we'll ask you, Prabhus, to participate. We are supposed to be doing yajna. That is our birthright as a human being. And that yajna comes in the form of mantra. Did you pick up on that? Whenever God says something, it's a mantra. It's a mantra. That means to be taken seriously. You know? And if God says something, usually it means we are to do répétez s'il vous plaît, which means please repeat. Please repeat the mantra. So the mantra, of course, for this age, it's not Gayatri mantra that is recommended. It's the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Yeah, there's a popular group called Coldplay. I think they're from the UK. And recently they opened up their mantra, their concert with the Maha Mantra. That was at Ahmedabad or something like that. And everybody went crazy. And also one of the devotee I first gave Diksha to, he lives in Calgary, Gaura Chandra, he forwarded to me, and I can share it with you, and you can send this. The popular rapper there in Italy, he was asked, he was on an interview on like a talk show, and he says, well, I've been chanting the Maha Mantra, it grounds me. You know, he was saying it in Italian, and then he also said the mantra, part of the Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So the mantra is getting out there, and that's the beautiful thing. If you want to shine, you want to glow, and if you want to keep warm, even a polar bear walk, then you chant Hare Krishna. That's the one thing that keeps us kind of above board and helps us towards transcendence. You know, that's what we all want, is transcendence. Good. So that's how Prabhupada concludes it. He said he wants us to be brilliant. He wants to be illuminated and so on, like a fire, like a spark. And that's basically what we are. You can check chapter 3, where the Lord talks about how we are little spark from the fire, and the fire is Krishna. Most people get this idea that the soul is like a little flame, very tiny, super tiny, isn't it? That's what, when you think about the soul, isn't that what you will not be destroyed. No amount of water will do it. No amount of let's say no knife can cut you into pieces. What else? You cannot be burned. Even though you're like fire, you cannot be burned. You know, all those points that are made in chapter 2 of Bhagavad Gita is actually what we are. We will not be destroyed. Our egos need to be destroyed, just like I was trying to poke at somebody's ego here earlier on when they butt in. So I mean, so this is the real approach, is to work at your ego and work at really glowing. You know, you want to grow and you want to glow, okay? And maybe I don't think the glow will ever grow to the level of what is God's glow. Am I right about that?
Yes.
Okay, I have to think about that. We will never grow to the point where we glow like God. We'll always remain Mamayavangsho Jiva Loke, Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. We'll always be a part. And when you are a part and you engage in party, like we did last night, you know, glorifying the Lord, chanting his name, and dancing, and using your arms, you know, then you're really submitting, then you're surrendering, then you're giving yourself. All right, thank you very much. We better give you some time to ask questions, because I know there's plenty of them. Okay. Sí, señor.
Maharaj, fire sacrifice we were talking about, and Agni in itself is a demigod, and when we do the fire sacrifice, it seems like Agni is the mouth of the Lord as well.
Yes. He's the tongue of Vishnu. So everything, just like us, we emanate from God. Janmadi Shitaha. So all the devatas also come out of the Lord. So when we're honoring, if you want to take it like this, Agni is like he's a devotee. You know, we've been talking about that the last few days. These demigods are devotees, right? So devotees are to be honored, they're to be respected, just like God is respected. That's our philosophy, isn't it? If somebody asks you, do you worship God? What's your answer? Is it like this? I'll ask you, do you worship God?
Yeah, I worship and love him at the same time.
Okay, you worship and love him at the same time. Okay, great. Do you love anybody else outside of God? Like, do you have a dog or something? No. Do you worship anyone outside of God?
Servants.
Huh?
Servants.
Servants? Yeah, devotees, yeah. You know, evolved devotees, not just, well, we even, you know, how many people are evolved in this room? How many people? Wrong. How many people are advanced in this room? Okay, so no one's really advanced, but that's okay. But we're following the advanced, right? We're following Prabhupada and the Parampara system. So this means that we are advancing, okay? So that is worthy of respect, at least, if I can use that word. You said love. I think we should start to love each other too, you know, not just praise or respect, R-E-S-P-C-T, but we should also just start loving each other. And don't look at the negative side of somebody. Let's say somebody isn't dancing enough, you know. So we don't want, you know, we don't want to criticize anybody, you know. We just want to look at their good points, because that's what really it's all about. Everyone is, you know, got a good side. Who's our photographer here? That's you. And Sartak also. We got two. Okay. Would you agree that some people, they have the good side and they have a bad side?
Yes.
Is it true? Yeah. Okay, so when it comes to our, you know, character, we have good features to our character. We also have some that we need to work on, but we highlight the positive things. We're optimists. Prabhupada was an optimist. And if you follow Prabhupada, you are obliged to follow his spirit. Right? You might keep your own personality, but you have an obligation to try to capture his spirit. Okay? Otherwise, you're in the wrong place. It's pretty strong, isn't it? And why not? That's why it's a good thing to always read about him. Okay? Yes?
So you mentioned the point that we are part of a cult. Like, if I was a newcomer and I hear that word, I would probably bring all my bags and run back home.
Okay.
So what do you have,
I'm glad you brought that up. Well, there's something very cool about the word cult. I mean, Prabhupada mentions it a lot of times in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. The Chaitanya cult means we follow his culture. Culture. We're cultured, you know, because we follow Krishna, we follow Chaitanya. But it's a funny thing. We live in dichotomy. Just like, say, if there's a lot of cults out there, like Michael Jackson cult, right? It's a cult, right? I'm not saying it in a bad way. It's just that he's got a big following. You know, he's popular, and so it's a cult. And then, in that sense, it's very acceptable. It's very acceptable. What do we say, like cult in terms referencing cynical groups? You know, who follow one person and their intelligence is not checked, things like that. Then it's bad. You know. But I trust you understand what I was doing with the word
Yes.
cult, right? But outside, we may not necessarily use it. Well, one day it might change, but cult comes from the word culture, cultured person. Just like if I say to Sartak, you're a cultured person. How does that make you feel? Okay, all right. And if I say that to any of the girls here, you are very cultured women. How does that make you feel?
Nice.
Nice. Okay, great. So I won't use the word anymore from here on. I was just trying to lighten up the atmosphere with that. So, but I'm glad you brought that up. We still have a little time. We're open for any other, yes. Okay, Ali, go ahead. We love when you come, especially when you park your horse outside.
Actually, you mentioned about like dancing and opening your hand, and it was like
Oh, yes.
you were there. And there is a spiritual dance in Iranian culture. They call it Sama dancing.
Oh,
Basically, they spinning and just like opening their hand. And
mhm. Yes, yes.
To see just what's related of like that dancing is considered as this dancing.
Yes, I mean, Iran, this is where you have a lot of followers of, what's the culture there? It's on the tip of my tongue. Where they spin.
They're spinning.
Yeah, what's the name? I'm just trying to think.
Sama dancing. And
Okay.
the guy is calling Sufi, some of them.
Yeah, Sufis, yeah. Prabhupada mentions Sufi in the Bhagavatam. He said there was some saints, they were very bhakti oriented. They're in other words, Prabhupada gave the stamp of approval. He said they believe in God, God's a person, and they're showing joy. They're showing how God is alive, and I'm alive in His service, right? So it's quite things. So I think that what we should do is we should, just like we're going to try to continue to do the polar bear jump walk, we can now start to spin in the temple room. but honestly, I'm glad you brought it up because in the Chaitanya movement, it's all about dance. It's dance and singing. It's not just singing. Because right now it's become popular, everyone sits down, and the popular kirtans that you see now, everyone sits down. It's not part of our tradition, honestly. Shame on those people who are making adjustments. I can understand when you're a little older and that's hard to sit down. When you're older, you sit on a chair, you can't even get down because it's hard to get up. The movement of Chaitanya, it's about chanting and dancing, it's about moving your whole body, swaying, yeah. And then maybe the Sufis have brought it to another level.
Yeah, exactly.
But they are personalists. They believe in God as a person, and they are very devotional. Prabhupada gives credit to them, just like he gave credit to the Athenian scholars. I was talking about Aristotle and Socrates and these other fellows. He said they're like pundits. So they're like pundits.
Basically, why I'm asking because I believe all religion and everything is came from Hinduism, and I feel
yes, it branched from there.
Yeah,
It branched from there. So I think the Sufis had the right idea, and they're inspiring us to dance more during kirtan. Because just like I've mentioned before, see, this is a pillar here, right? And it's holding up the structure. We don't need any more pillars. You know what I mean? Just stand there. Recently I came to someone and I said, Prabhu, we got enough pillars to hold up the structure. We don't need you to be another one. We need to show life, life. Like the lotus flower, right? In the sun. And then when it's time to wind up at 9 o'clock in the night in the ashram, he's just going All right, yes.
Maharaj, when you
Oh, no, you were first.
Yes, Maharaj.
Sorry, Prabhu. You already did say something. Okay, good.
So you mentioned that we should not look at the negative side of people.
Yeah.
That is, everyone has good features of their character and bad features. But like if I talk about myself, then if someone is doing something wrong, then that will be the highlight, not the 100 good things that they did. Like it will, I'll not go and tell them, but it will be in my mind below that is doing this wrong, or
Yeah.
this is a bad feature that he has.
Well, maybe sometimes, so you're wondering what to do about that?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, sometimes you see it in you.
Mm.
You know, someone else is doing something wrong. Yeah, I have that tendency too. So I'm going to try to correct that person. Really, I should correct myself first. So it's a little bit about you're seeing yourself through others. Anyways, when we're trying to correct someone, you got to be really careful about it, you know? If you're in a position for correction, that's one thing. But even then still, you have to be very diplomatic about how you do it. You have to be really, really, you know, just like Krishna says to Duryodhana, you're a good statesman. But at the end, Krishna didn't say, but you're a good statesman. After Krishna says, there will be war now. He didn't say, but you're still a good statesman. So he started off the sandwich program. He went halfway. Krishna went halfway. Because Krishna stands for the truth in the end, right? And if somebody's a rascal, they need to be told he's a rascal. That the sort of left-wing mentality that everyone's okay. If you're a rascal, that's okay, you're a rascal. You're allowed to be. You have your rights to be a rascal. Isn't it like that? It's kind of like the philosophy. Like there's no standards. If you don't set standards, and where democracy can win if it recognizes the power of God. You know, like we have that in our statement as far as I know, Constitution, Canadian Constitution, recognizing the supreme being. It's either here or it's with the American Constitution. But people tend to just take God out of the picture, and that's a big problem. You know, they're saying when the cat goes away, the mice come and play. So if you kill the cat, the mice are going to play. And they're going to start to leave their little jira all over the place, all your food. All right. So thanks for those who contribute. What do you want to do quickly?
Yes. Maharajji, when we see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's moment, everything is about loving the Lord, everything is about being selfless and bhakti, but all the sacrifices are always about material gain. Always demigods or God is invoked, even if somebody is invoking Narayan, they want some position for material purpose.
Yeah, but the yajna of chanting Hare Krishna is not that. That's what you're trying to say. Yeah.
So yeah, this one is different, but the yajna during the other